Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, what we're going to talk about in this video is, this ongoing saga of the Epstein Files. Now, what's been released this week are photos and a video of the Lolita Express, the private plane that Epstein committed a lot of his crimes on, in full view of lots of people. From what I've read about it, sometimes he would actually, be in flagrante or whatever they call it, actually on the plane in front of people. So, when people are saying that, they didn't know he was doing this and they didn't know he was doing that. Often he was doing it right in front of everybody, certainly the crew, etc. Anyway, and also has been released a video of his private island and some photos of the rooms. And, well, you'll make your own mind up as you have a look. But to me, I find the whole thing just chilling because it's just such a weird place. If you went there, even if you didn't know what was going on, you think, God, this is pretty weird. But, and also I think it just goes to show, because all that money he had. I wonder what Elon Musk's private jet looks like, because I think no matter how much money you've got, you cannot buy taste. That's for sure. You think, God, if you had all that money at your disposal to create something really beautiful, like on that private island or in the private plane, you'd think it'd be a lot nicer than what it ended up being. I know he's a man, and men have different tastes, perhaps more Spartan tastes, if you like, than a woman. But unless you're Donald Trump, of course, who goes full on sort of gold everywhere. But Epstein's almost like the opposite. It's so Spartan and like it's not cozy or even sexy. Like if it's supposed to be, somewhere where he was enjoying himself all the time. It's just clinical, I think. Anyway, you'll make your own mind up as you go along. Let me know what you think. Thank you all for liking my videos, subscribing. Please remember to press notifications. Please remember to like this video. And thank you to all my members, especially. Today's Thursday. Tonight is Members Live. Thank you. A special thank you to you. Special thank you to anyone who has sent a super sticker, bought a Ko-fi, bought a gifted membership. Someone, because I can see somebody's bought a gifted membership there for other people. That's very kind. Thank you. But I'm going to look at that anyway in a minute. And just thank you for all the positive ways that you support my channel. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to say hello to lovely lurkers. So I've got this eye emoji that I've put for the members, which I think does well for I've put it on. Let me put it. I think this does for the lurkers as well. You lurkers out there, you lovely lurkers, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for thank you to Replay Crew. Thank you for watching. So now I am going to come into the chat and see who's brave enough to venture into the chat. Here we are. If you're watching this live, it is, it all just seized up there. It is Thursday morning, isn't it? Thursday, the 4th of December. Well, here in Spain, it is morning time. It's 7 minutes past 9. It's freezing. Well, I say it's freezing. It's 10 degrees. So I've got my jumper on. It is a Christmas jumper. Got a few Christmas jumpers. I'll be wearing probably a Christmas jumper every day now, coming up to Christmas. Hope you're all getting ready for Christmas and looking forward to it, whatever you're doing. Julie, good morning. Yeah, Julie says, I just wish they would release everything and everyone connected to this lowlife. But I guess it implicates a lot of powerful individuals and they seem to have control over the narrative at the moment. Yeah, what I want to know is, and I've always, why is Ghislaine Maxwell the only person who's in prison? There were two other people in prison, weren't there? The guy over in Paris, I think it was in Paris in France, he hung himself. Did he now? And then, of course, we had Epstein, who hung himself. But apart from them two, Ghislaine is the only person in prison. She's campaigning for release. They think that she might be released. How can she be released? It's just so strange. Have you ever seen so much evidence against people and nothing happening? Same with Andrew. All the evidence against him and, paying off this poor girl, Virginia, who, I've put her picture up in the corner there because she supposedly hung herself as well. How many people connected with this case have done that? Anyway, I must always remember her because she is her bravery that sort of really brought this case or these cases to the forefront, didn't it? It was her who was brave enough, because it's hard to go against powerful people, royal families, prime ministers, billionaires. But why what about the men that are named on this list? The men that actually abuse these girls, why are they not in prison? Including Andrew. So we're all supposed to feel like sorry for Andrew because he's been moved from one mansion to another mansion and he's not allowed to be called prince anymore. Ooh, as if that, oh dear. Gosh, for those of us who were never called prince or princess, it's hard to see how that's an actual punishment. Is that supposed to, be a terrible punishment? You've got the royal family. Literally, the British royal family is hanging on with its fingertips. They've always associated with PDFs. The whole family, not just Andrew. He's the scapegoat, hung out to dry, with no real punishment. He'll still have his servants. He's still living in a fantastic place. He's still not paying rent. Oh, because Charles is paying for him. Charlie boy. Well, who pays Charlie boy? Anyway. Yeah, don't get me. God, if I start on that, I'll never get round to this whole video. But yeah. So where are the people? Why are people not being held accountable? So I agree completely with you, Julie. So Julie's gifted a membership, which has gone to Geordie Lass. Sure, Geordie Lass will be very appreciative. Thank you, Julie, so much. Let's put that's so very kind to gift a membership. Thank you so much. You're very kind, Julie, just in general. Thank you. Sorry. I lose track of where I'm going. Good morning, Lisa J. So, yeah, this is where we are now. I honestly, looking at these videos and photos from the plane and the island, it is, at the end of the day, you're looking at photos of a crime scene, aren't you? And not only one crime, but multiple crimes over years. People getting away with things over years. And still getting away with them because not being held accountable, as I say. Why is Andrew not in, at least had a court case or something and, had some sort of punishment? Andrew's punishment is literally moving from one mansion to another and losing his title, which, I know for Andrew that will be a big thing because he's such a puffed up, self-important toad that it will hurt him to not be called prince anymore. I know that, but still, he'll cope, won't he? Anyway, so let's have a look at these photos. So we're going to start with the Lolita Express. So that was Epstein's private plane, wasn't it? And it was nicknamed, I mean, that tells you everything, doesn't it? Because it was nicknamed the Lolita Express. There were lots of young girls went on it. Not only young girls, but lots of powerful, important people went on it, men and women. And not all of them. But, you know, will we ever know the truth? But supposedly not all of them were involved in any of the illegal activity that went on the plane or on the island. But will we ever know, you know, who did and who didn't? I mean, there's still a lot of survivors, of course, even though poor Virginia is not here to say anymore. She's, you know, she had her book come out recently. She's had her say, at least. But it seems strange to me that she didn't wait around for the reception of the book, you know, that she took her own life before that. But anyway, that's supposedly what happened. But there are lots of other survivors. And it's just amazing, isn't it, that they've got to prove everything. You know, how much evidence do you need of the wrongdoing? Seems like is all the evidence coming out one after the other and more and more and more, but still not enough. But, you know, and then you've all that evidence doesn't seem to count for anything. And then these survivors, people don't believe them. A lot of people don't believe them. It's like, well, why? And of course they'll say money, I suppose, or whatever. But, you know, I don't think this is about money. I think these girls, they were trafficked, lured away. And some people will say, oh, well, they were, you know, they knew what they were doing. You know, they didn't know what they were doing because they were too young in the eyes of the law to consent to what was happening. They were trafficked. Jeffrey Epstein was a predator, and whoever was associated with him, there was you know, who is it? A Donald Trump. He's the dog that hasn't barked yet. I don't think he's got a bark left in him from what I see of him lately. He doesn't look very well, but it might be all this, you know, he is an elderly man at the end of the day. And, you know, I used to laugh at Joe Biden for being Sleepy Joe. You know, now we've got Dozy Donald, haven't we? You know, he keeps falling asleep. He's too old to be a president. He's too old. They need some young blood in America, whatever side of the political fence. You know, America's was run by Joe Biden, who also was too old, and now Donald Trump, who is too old, and he's just making a total cock up of everything. I mean, what is happening in America? Anyway, again, that's another video. So let's have a look at the actual aeroplane first. So this is the Daily Mail. Quite often we go to, just because they do have good videos and good photos, etc. Let's have a look at the video first. Take a look inside Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express private jet. And it is interesting. Now, I'll read the article in a moment out to you, which tells us what's happening with the jet at the moment. Well, it's probably been scrapped by now, but yeah, you know, the thing is, it's a big pile of evidence, really, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know if it were, you know, I suppose the photos were taken, videos were taken to keep in case it was needed for any court case. But let's have a look at this video. So there's a cockpit now. So do you see? It's horrible, isn't it? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I know it'll be a product of its time. It was, you know, probably be different now. Decor and things like that changed, but I just think it's a really ugly thing. I mean, as I say, he was a man, so it's quite masculine, isn't it? Dark. But I thought Ghislaine was in charge of, well, certainly on the island, didn't she say she was left responsible for the decorating and stuff? Wait till you see that. But I think this plane is, you know, could be a lot nicer. Very dark, these furnishings. But yeah, maybe that was the fashion at the time. I don't know. No, it's nothing special, is it? And then you've got the red room. I mean, red maybe was, again, maybe just was fashionable at the time or popular. Because, you know, things do change. I think more neutral colours are probably more fashionable nowadays. I mean, it looks like a boudoir, really, at the end of the day, doesn't it? And then there's the bed. God, no, this is what I just found so chilling, because you just think, you know, how many girls were abused on this aeroplane, you know, just it gives me the absolute creeps. You know, when you look at something and it literally gives you chills. Now, I don't know whether it would, if somebody showed me this and I didn't know it was Epstein's, would it still give me chills, or is it just because I know, you know, we all know what happened on this plane, and you know, is that why it gives me chills, or would it get, you know, is it just got that feel about it? It's just not like, I don't know, it's just so cold looking. Okay, so that's the video of the jet. And now I'm going to read the article of the jet. You can see, look at Bill Clinton there getting a massage. That's not on the jet, though, I don't think. Though I have to say, well, we'll see when we come down to it. This girl said that there was nothing untoward happened with her and Bill Clinton anyway. So let's go up to the beginning of the article and read the article. So, see inside Epstein's creepy Lolita Express, a secret VIP pals who parted with the paedophile are set to be exposed in a file dump. So this was the 28th of November. Well, we haven't had any names yet. Are the names going to be coming out? And even if the names come out, like you say, Julie, they're powerful and they can literally get away with murder. There'll be lots of rich and powerful people who have got away with murder. Yeah, it's tacky. And yeah, that's a good description, Julie. An IKEA plane. But it's not even as nice. But it's very bleak. Like IKEA things are quite bleak, aren't they? And that is very bleak. Yeah, but it's not even as nice as IKEA. But anyway. So it was a conveyor belt of depravity, as well as a shuttle for some of the world's most famous individuals, including 2 US presidents. You know, and I've said this right from the beginning, Jeffrey Epstein, he was a collector of famous people. He deliberately set out to, you know, anyone who was famous and rich, he would make a beeline for them and try and, I call it, collect them. So if like Prince Andrew, they were stupid enough, you know, to actually have sex with these girls and stuff, I'm sure he would be black. There's videos of these people somewhere. I don't know if we'll ever see them or they'll ever come out or, you know, be referenced properly. But there is absolutely no way that this man did not keep videos and things. You know, he collected these rich, famous, powerful people and then most likely blackmailed them. Now, more dark secrets of Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Lolita Express private airliner are set to come under the microscope with the imminent dump of government files on the dead paedophile financier. The notorious sex trafficker used his Boeing 727-100 to ferry a host of international A-listers around the globe, including ex-Commander-in-Chief Bill Clinton and the former Prince Andrew, now known as Mr. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. But he also used call sign N990JE to shuttle his young girl victims between lavish homes in New York, the US Virgin Islands, New Mexico, and his waterfront mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. President Donald Trump, you know how Trump, he keeps saying, oh, I know, he hardly knew him, he never met Andrew, or he never did this. These photos, you know, he thinks everyone's stupid that they can't look at a photo. So he was named as a passenger on the jet according to flight logs, and he signed the Epstein Transparency Act into law on November the 19th. And it means the Department of Justice has until December the 19th to release all unclassified records. So that's a bit worrying, isn't it? All unclassified records. What about the classified records? That means even when they release, you know, whatever they release, everyone's going to know there are still more of the investigation into the monster who killed himself in prison. Did he though? In 2019. These must also include files relating to his accomplice, Madam Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence in a cushy Texas prison. Don't forget, she's been moved to a nice cushy prison now. And crucially, flight logs and travel records, including itineraries and pilot records. Any revelations are therefore likely to include a spotlight on the infamous aircraft in which 63-year-old Maxwell was photographed, creepily giving Epstein a foot massage with her white shirt wide open. Well, I don't think that was creepy. You know, it's funny how they say that's creepy. That's not creepy. They were at partnership. So I think her giving him, and she wasn't 63 at the time. I mean, not that it should matter, but, you know, they make it sound creepy. But that photo of Ghislaine giving Epstein a foot massage, that is the least creepy. You know, they were a couple, so because she was giving him a foot massage with her shirt open, how is that creepy? The creepy things were the things involving the young girls. Anyway, so there he is. He'd be spinning in hell, of course, probably at the moment, even though he didn't, well, as far as we know, he didn't actually kill anybody. I'm very suspicious about that island, because you just think, God, you could chuck someone in the water there and they'd never be seen again, would they? But anyway, we have to assume he did not kill anybody, but it was, his crimes were pretty prolific, weren't they? He is a creepy man just in himself. And again, looking at that, like you say, Julie, tacky, creepy, I don't know, it just gives me the chills. This whole, I don't know what it is about it. Oh, so there you go. This is what the Mail say is a creepy photo. Well, that's not, that's the least creepy thing of all, isn't it, really, I think. I mean, she absolutely adored him. I think you can tell from most of, I would say that Ghislaine, she definitely got these sort of daddy issues from her dad. She's attracted to sort of suspect men. And I would say that she was definitely completely in love with him, beside the fact that he was rich as well. And she was used to being supported by someone. She never had to do anything for herself, did she? Because her dad supported her, Robert Maxwell, a dodgy character, and then she just swapped Robert Maxwell for him. So she has been seen on the Lolita Express with one photo showing her rubbing his feet while sitting on grey fur. I mean, ooh, you know, sitting on grey fur, oh my God. Just why did they pick that out as creepy? Out of all the creepy things that this man has done or that she has done, they picked out that photo as being creepy. Anyway, so the possibility of a whole new tranche of VIP names being outed and becoming embroiled in the Epstein horror story. The jet, which took its last flight in 2016, so it's not been in the air for 9 years, was sitting forlornly at Georgia's Brunswick Golden Isles Airport when photographed by the Daily Mail in 2020. Our exclusive pictures revealed the expansive layout of the aircraft, which was split into a series of rooms. Garish red, dark brown, cream and brass dominated the decor, which included extensive wood panelling, mirrored walls and deep cushioning. One room contained sectional sofas with individual armrests, like many families have in their homes to watch TV. Okay. Another was dominated by bright red velvet, including a panelled sofa. And at the back of the plane, a large wooden bed had under mattress drawers that still contained spare bed linen. Bill Clinton, 79, flew on it up to a reported 26 times. That's quite a lot, isn't it? After he left office. But he would hardly have recognised the formerly lavish interior, which fell into disrepair as the plane was mothballed. However, chilling pointers to the notorious former owner remained, including monogrammed tissues. What? Why? Anyway, and a bottle of Johnson's baby lotion in a wooden panelled bathroom. I mean, people do use Johnson's baby lotion for unnefarious activities as well. Or I don't know if you've seen this. You know, Trumpy, every time anybody asks him about Epstein, he
So this is...
Oh, yeah, that was the one where he's quiet piggy, he said to that reporter. Oh, my God, he's such a horrible man. You know, what is going on with Donald Trump? He's just getting worse and worse and worse. Now, look at his decor. This is the Donald Trump decor. All this gold and stuff. That's what he's going to do to that. So he's pulled down one of the wings of the White House that stood there for years and years and years. He's got no respect for history, this man. He's pulled down to the whole thing to build a new ballroom. And you know, this ballroom, it's going to look like this, isn't it? It's going to be as tacky as hell. Because these people, they are tacky. Money can't buy you taste. Do you know, like they just don't know how to be understated. Trump, it's all, you know, everything's, oh God, I'll tell you what, when he's actually found out, you know, well, has been found out, but people seem to be quite happy to turn a blind eye with Trumpy. But when he's not just any PDF, he'll be the biggest, the best PDF there ever was, because everything he's got to be the biggest, the best. He's got no humility whatsoever, this man. You know, it's just horrible, actually. And he is, of course, the leader of the free world at the moment. So he's that. But I do think even his own followers have had enough of Trumpy.
A Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation.
Oh,
we gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied.
Yeah, he likes to liken himself to Kennedy. He's the Trump family. They want to be like the Kennedy dynasty. Well, do you know what? The Kennedy dynasty weren't the luckiest ones, were they? So, you know, good luck with that.
I don't know. I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats.
Everything's
It's been
by
run by the
Democrat.
Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him.
Yeah, he keeps saying they were only Democrats, but he was a Democrat then. When all this was going on with Epstein, he was a Democrat. He changed to be a Democrat. He's forgetting that. Do you know, he's just like stupid. But I think what's happened with this era with Trump, and unfortunately it's been infectious in the UK as well. I don't know about in Spain whether it is or not, but it's like he's realised that you can just say something and a load of people will believe you whether it's true or not. You know, so if he says, oh, it's a Democrat hoax, there'll be loads of Republicans, MAGAs out there going, oh, yeah, it's just a Democrat hoax. They don't look into it. They don't see that he was a Democrat himself at the time. You know, they don't look any further than that. It's like, oh, Trumpy says it's a Democrat hoax, so it must be. Like when he said, you know, injecting bleach into your veins might stop you from getting COVID, and then bleach sold out because all these idiot MAGAs were going out there and buying bleach and injecting it into the veins. You know, he's so irresponsible and he just talks a load of rubbish. And, you know, we thought politicians were dishonest before, but now it's on another level, isn't it?
And it's a bad group.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway. I mean, she is a very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two.
Yeah, something happened to her. She realised that she'd been backing the wrong horse, Donald, and that because she started sympathising for the girls more than you. You know, so he calls everybody else into question, doesn't he? Whereas he's the one falling asleep in the middle of meetings. He's the one, you know, who's already a convicted felon who paid off a prostitute, who Melania was probably trafficked herself. God knows what happened to Ivana. She had a mysterious death and is now buried on his golf course. Do you know what? As I'm actually saying these things, I'm thinking that, you know, I'm in that parallel universe again.
Where she changed, I think, politically.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
This guy's been talked about for years.
Yeah.
You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
This creep. They were like besties. We've seen the video of them dancing, you know, of them laughing and joking and selecting women, talking about girls at the party. And now he's a creep all of a sudden. So, yeah, he thinks everybody's stupid, doesn't he?
About so much more.
So, going back to the article. So next door to the red velvet room, this is on the plane, by the way, was another large cream-coloured velvet sectional that created a circle to match the shape of the room. Ooh, that bed gives me the, honest to God, literally just gives me the creeps to look at that, because he gives me the creeps. You know, Epstein, he is like, I can't, you know, he's revolting, isn't he? You know, I just, there's something about him that just makes you feel sick. So in the plane's rear section, a sizable wooden bed was found with under mattress storage that continued to house folded spare sheets. So there's all these spare sheets in the bottom. That just literally makes me feel sick. In the bathroom, we've got the old bottle. I wonder if somebody put that there just deliberately. I don't know about that. But yeah, and then you've got the monogram tissues. N909JE. So there's something wrong with people, I think, who have to monogram things, you know, or make things about them. I mean, many, many years ago when I was in Manchester, I was out in a nightclub and I got chatting to this guy. I think he was Iranian. He was from somewhere in the Middle East. And on his watch, he had a picture of himself. an actual photo of himself on his watch. So every time he looked to see what time it was, he was looking at a photo of himself. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, what a prick. You know, like, talk about ego driven. Why would you put a photo of yourself on your watch? You know, I just, ugh. You know, it's like, you must be such a narcissist to do that. I could see you'd put a photo of your wife on there, or your husband, or your mum or dad, even your dog or your cat. But why you would put a photo of yourself on your watch? What is that about? Anyway, and this reminds me of that. I mean, monogrammed tissues. I mean, I suppose, you know, for some people, they'd go on there and they'd take away a tissue as a memento that they'd been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, would they? I don't know. It just all feels horrible. So mundane items such as toilet paper, water. I wonder if the toilet paper was monogrammed. Water bottles and instant coffee were other reminders of the corroded and virtually worthless jet's former life. The plane arrived in Georgia from Palm Beach on July the 11th, 2016, and became unregistered 3 years later. 2 years ago, Florida-based World Aviation Services, which acquired it, told the Daily Mail it was set to be scrapped after failing to find a buyer. I mean, yeah, who would buy it, really? I mean, it's quite icky to think about what's happened on it. Clinton's representatives have said he flew on the Lolita Express on 4 overall trips related to humanitarian and philanthropic work for his foundation. These included multiple flight legs to locations including Morocco, China, Armenia, Japan, Singapore, Norway, and Belgium. The former president has repeatedly said he was unaware of Epstein's crimes. He's also denied ever visiting the PDF's notorious bolt hole of Little St. James. I mean, you know, Bill, you should just come out. He's definitely been there, I would say. I don't know what he's done or what he hasn't done. A lot of the survivors have said they've never had, you know, a bad experience with him. So we have to take their word for it, I suppose. Anyway, he was, however, photographed in 2002, receiving a neck massage from masseuse turned actress Shanti Davis, who was 22 at the time and eventual vocal Epstein accuser. And the snap shows him smiling as a kneeling Davis massages his shoulders in an airport lounge chair during a Lolita Express refueling stop in Portugal on a foundation trip to Africa. Maxwell was also on the flight and reportedly encouraged Davis to give Clinton the treatment after he complained of a stiff neck. Oh, here's Trumpy with that creep, you know, his bestie at the time. That was when Trumpy was a Democrat. Trumpy's reinvented himself so many times. President Trump has been pictured multiple times with Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine, signed the Epstein Transparency Act. God, can't get my words out this morning. Transparency Act into law on November the 19th, giving the DOJ a deadline of December the 19th to release all files relating to the disgraced financier. So he apparently kept his plane well stocked. Mundane items such as toilet paper, water bottles, and instant coffee were other reminders of the corroded and virtually worthless jet's former life. Instant coffee. So he's got monogrammed bloody handkerchiefs, but he ain't got proper coffee machine? Come on. Anyway, there's the bathroom. It's horrible, isn't it, really? only the best for Epstein, including pricey Voss water at the side of the bathroom sink. I haven't got a clue what Voss water is, but I tell you what, if you're using instant coffee, he doesn't like the best of everything. He could have got himself a proper machine on there. Here's the office conference room. Here's the photo of Clinton with the girl giving him a massage. Now, got to make clear this girl was 22 at the time, so she wasn't underage. And she herself has said nothing appropriate happened with Bill Clinton. But whether it's true or not, I just don't know. There he is again. So this therapist, this girl, she has accused Epstein of repeatedly raping her. But she says that Clinton was a perfect gentleman during the trip, and she saw absolutely no foul play, including him. And a fellow passenger on the Clinton Foundation mission to Africa was Oscar-winning Kevin Spacey, 65, who said there were young girls on the plane. Of course, he's not interested in young girls. He likes young boys. The controversial House of Cards, brilliant actor, by the way, such a shame. He's got another court case coming. He was cleared of the last one, I think, but he's got another court case coming up. And it's a shame because he really is one of my favourite actors. He's a brilliant actor. But of course, all these rumours around him are with young boys. He has called for all Epstein files to be made public. As he said, for those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. And I agree. Hi, Heather. Hi. I know, Heather, you need to get some handkerchiefs made with cooked towers on them. You know, I think you're missing a trick. Maybe you could do like guided tours. It's just horrible, isn't it? It's just total ego. I'm going to get some made just for the hell of it, you know. Just, you know, and he wasn't like, I think it, you know, I don't know. It was just for his ego. This ego. Honestly, I hate ego. So many people ruled by their ego, mainly men, but not only men. And it's quite sad, isn't it? So President Trump was named as a passenger on a flight log revealed in Maxwell's trial in 2021. And she was found guilty of 6 counts, including sex trafficking a minor. And it shows he travelled on a 2-leg trip in May 1994 with his ex-wife Maria Maples and their infant daughter Tiffany. And logs record the former Prince Andrew, whose public humiliation for his Epstein association was sealed earlier this month, when he was stripped of his title, making 4 trips on the Lolita Express. Now, the thing is, there's more to come at, because, do you know, for ages they were saying, oh, no, we can't take away his Prince title because that he was, you know, that was his by birth because he's Elizabeth's son. Like, we can't take that away. And then, boom, one day it was just like, it's gone. So something happened there. There was a reason for that. There's more to come out about Andrew. So there you go. You've got the bathroom and shower area, but it's all mouldy now because, of course, the plane hasn't been used for ages. Now, the thing is, the staff on that plane must have known what was going on as well. You know, are they being prosecuted because they knew about it all? So of course, Andrew has denied he ever set foot on Little St. James. You know, he's such an idiot, Andrew. You know, because he really does. The trouble is, he's a thicko, but he thinks that we're all thickos. Because he thinks if he says that he never met that girl, even though he paid her off all those millions of pounds, but no, he never met her. He never went on the island, even though people have seen him on the island. And look, Epstein pilot David Rogers claimed in a legal deposition that Andrew flew on the jet at least twice with Virginia Giuffre, who he said he'd never met, who alleged she was pimped out to him a few times, didn't she? You know, I know who I believe. You know, I don't believe Andrew at all. And I think, you know, I think you'd be crazy to believe him. But I don't only think it's about Andrew, the royal family, and totally just get rid of all of them, I think. You know, they've all been protecting him for years. The only reason they're throwing him under a bus now is because they can't, you know, they're realizing it's endangering their position. So Virginia received an estimated $16 million in a confidential settlement from Andrew in 2022 that he borrowed from Queenie. Where did Queenie get it? Well, he didn't borrow it from her. It was a gift from Queenie. Where did Queenie get her money from, I wonder? You know, British taxpayer, probably from the Crown. And she then took her own life in April this year. Did she, though? Did she take her own life? I don't know about that at all. I think there's too many self-deletions around this case that I don't believe that she did. I just don't. So anyway, but you let me know what you think in comments. Do you think Virginia took her own life? Do you think Epstein took his own life? And the other guy in France, Brunel? You know, too many, aren't there? Too many suspicious deaths. Okay, so so that was the aeroplane. We're going to look at the home now. You know, the actual island. And honest to God, if you thought that was creepy, this is really creepy. So it's they've released these photos. They'll not have so we haven't a series of photos from sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's island home were released by congressional Democrats. We haven't learned too much new information, but we have gained a glimpse into a world most people could previously only have imagined. And again, to me, looking at these photos and the video that goes with it, you just, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you've got, you're still tasteless. I mean, you don't look at it and think, or I didn't look at it and think, oh God, it's beautiful. Or, you know, I'd love to have an island like that or a home like that. I looked at it and I thought, God, it's awful. So 10 photos and 4 videos all featured rooms in Epstein's sprawling property on his 90-acre Caribbean private island, Little St. James. Many of the rooms look like they could be from any large luxury home. Bedrooms with pristine white sheets, a massive pool surrounded by palm trees. But there are some unusual touches to the late financier's property, including a room that looks like a dentist office. Wait till you see that. What's that about? Fitted with tools and masks that resemble human faces hung on the walls. It's so creepy. This whole place is so creepy. And a Democrat said the photos give a disturbing look into Epstein's world and have been released to ensure public transparency. But they are not part of the larger document release that is coming as per the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Meanwhile, Ghislaine, who helped him, is preparing to ask the court to release her from prison. And she thinks all the information coming out could prejudice a retrial of her case. So there's no context to these photos, just to say they've just released photos and well, that's the massage bed. That was a previous photo. So these are previous photos. So we're going to go to the new photos. Okay, so now that looks quite nice. So you've got that lovely view over the sea. You've got the pool, but again, it's very Spartan, isn't it? Now there's one statue at the end here that we're going to have a look at in a minute closer up. I suppose it's been cleared away, hasn't it? I mean, it doesn't look like a home, does it? Look, this is another statue. So he seems to be a lot. They're like satires, aren't they? It's, what do they call them? Yeah, satires. Like from Greek mythology that sort of hunt girls and things. They're just creepy. Everything about this man is creepy. So the second trove of images released by the House Oversight Committee this evening contains much of the same types of pictures as were in the first dump, just a lot more of them. Dozens of photos that look like what you might find on a real estate listing or an Airbnb ad, showing tidy bedrooms and bathrooms, the view from the estate, the sprawling pool and deck and other sections of the property. There are additional photos of art around the estate, like paintings, statues, masks, some of which are more unusual than others. One of the small tabletop statues depicts a half-naked woman who appears to be crouching over a chamber pot. Another depicts a Greek mythological character called, God, I forgot to. Centaur. It looks like Itchy Centaur. I thought it was a satire, but it's not. It's a centaur, which, yes, we had to Google to be sure that it's made up of a man's head and torso, a horse's legs, and a fish's tail. They're an odd combination, aren't they, as well? He was a really odd man. Oh, look, here's the woman squatting over a chamber pot or something, I mean, seriously, what would possess you to see that and think, oh, I've got to have that in my home? He's a weirdo, this guy, Epstein, a total weirdo. Just, I mean, be honest, if it's somebody, there are any of you out there who actually think, oh, that's great, love that in my house. I mean, I'm not a lover of statues, to be honest, in general, because they give me the creeps generally, but obviously some are more beautiful than others. I do appreciate art. So this is the living room. I mean, look at the state of it. All the colours are different. It's all that dark wood again. He's got no taste whatsoever, this man. Literally, if you were rich and you had that look, an island to yourself and a lovely house, would you really, is that how you would furnish it? What the hell is that? Looks like, to me, that looks like a house, if you, just as someone who sort of, I don't know, died in a council flat or whatever, and you went in there, they'd have a nicer house than that. He just doesn't strike me as a man of taste. So these photos seem to have been taken in. Yeah, it's like, do you know what it's like? It's like Del Boy, isn't it? It's like, his flat, him and Rodney's flat. You expect him to have a big sort of pineapple on the side with cigars in it. If that's how tasteless it is. So the house appears to have been packed away with furniture stacked up and artwork removed from the walls. So in the coming days, potential bank records are supposed to come. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee said today's photos will not be the end of the documents they release. And they said they also received records from JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank, and they plan to release those files after review in the days ahead. Yeah, you see, they're still cherry picking what they release, aren't they? So, oh, there you go. There's a photo of him with the Pope. Oh my God. Do you know what? A photo of it with the Pope. Oh my God. So the notorious PDFs meeting the Pope. Everyone who ends up meeting the Pope's just as bad. And not only that Pope, but any Pope. They're just propping up a system but they're even worse because they're doing it in the name of religion, propping up a system which means that these rich people, filthy rich. There's a documentary, isn't there, on Netflix called Filthy Rich. It's very interesting about Epstein. And, the Vatican is the biggest example of all the riches in the Vatican. And they're telling people, not to take contraception or, so people in Africa are just carrying on having loads of kids that they can't feed and living in misery. And the Pope's saying, no, you can't take contraception. Yeah, it gives you the shivers, doesn't it? But do you know how many other people? I'm going to do a video of all the creepy people that the Pope has greeted, not only this Pope, but any Pope. And there's quite a few of them. Just because somebody gets an audience with the Pope, it normally means they're notorious, rich, whatever. It doesn't mean they're good people. He would have collected the fucking Pope if he could have done it. Excuse my French. I expect he was trying to get the Pope on the Lolita Express. God, that would have been the epitome for him, wasn't he? He was really chuffed when he collected Prince Andrew because he was royal family. God, could you imagine if he would have got a Pope or a bishop or something? That's what he tried to do, collect all the sort of famous people, he would have loved to have collected the Pope. Maybe he did. Do you know what? We don't know, do we? Hi, Angel. Wouldn't surprise me. Do you know, the Vatican, well, we know what the priesthood is like, how many bishops, priests, you name it, who have been, PDFs gravitate towards the clergy because they're in a situation where they're going to be exposed, if you pardon the expression, to a lot of boys and men that are vulnerable, choir boys. They're going to be in a position of power where they can, unfortunately, bad people gravitate towards these kind of things. Now, I'm not saying that that Pope or the Pope we've got now is a PDF or was a PDF. But what I'm saying is he's more likely to be one than most people. God, awful, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Charlie Boy and Shamilla have just visited the Pope. That's like... I do quite like this current Pope because he makes me laugh because he's like... He just the way he talks makes me laugh. I don't know. But he's still... he is quite humble as well, the Pope that is there at the moment. The things he says, but he's still... to get to the top of the church, and you can't get any further up apart from actually being God or Jesus than the Pope, can you? There's no higher position in the church. To get there, I think you've probably, got to be a bit cutthroat. I don't know. How else would you get there? Yeah, that's pretty freaky, isn't it? So this is all the shampoos and that. That's a bit like my bathrooms. I've got loads. Have you got loads of sort of bottles of shampoo that are nearly empty and you think, oh, I won't throw them away yet? I try and use them now for other things, because when it gets to the bottom and I put water in there. Here's some money saving tips because I have to clean I've got like a roof terrace where the dogs go to the toilet and that. So what I do is if I've got like a shampoo that's right near the bottom and I've bought the next one, what I do now is I fill it up with water and a bit of bleach or any cleaning product that I have, and I use it to help clean upstairs. So there you go. I try and use everything. Nobody could complain. I think out of anybody's carbon footprint, don't think anyone could complain about mine because I try not to waste anything. You can always find something to use stuff for. And yeah, if you've got like a bottle of shampoo, that's right near the end. So it's still got some in it, but not, it's annoying because you've got to squeeze it out and whatever, and you've already bought a new bottle. So if you put water in it and maybe a bit of bleach and other cleaning products, you can use it to clean like patios and things. So there you go. That's what I do. So the documentation of the house's contents is thorough, throwing up some odd juxtapositions such as mundane personal items, like a large selection of shampoos and conditioners, versus a picture of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine meeting Pope John Paul II. And another, he must have been very proud of that photo, because another copy of it was found at his New York residence. So here are the other sort of really sort of weirdy type things. We've got some really weirdy statues. I say weirdy, these are probably the... But what's that? What's that? That's a very strange sort of face, isn't it? It's like it's not a good sculpture, is it? And it's quite ugly, isn't it? That one, I'm not sure who that is or what it is. Look at that one. A monkey standing on its hind legs. So there's three. This is what I mean about. I've got no. What is even? If you had money where you could collect things that were. You could collect anything. It's got the money to collect anything. Why would you collect that? What's that? Strange man. Oh, and then this is one of the rooms. Look at this room. That's pretty creepy, isn't it? That's a dentist chair. And on the walls are all these masks, like masks of... That is really creepy, I think. Why would you have a dentist chair on your private island in the Caribbean? So in case you missed it earlier, probably the room in Epstein's house that is baffling us the most is this one. In the middle of the room, there is what looks to be a full dentist office-style setup, including a chair, a light, and some tools. There are also some large white pieces of furniture that are difficult to identify. I mean, that looks like a dentist's surgery, doesn't it, almost? And a pot with what looks like umbrellas sticking out of it. Well, you would probably need umbrellas there because they probably do have quite a lot of rain. But perhaps most confusing are the masks on the wall that all look to depict male faces. We're not sure what the masks were used for or who they are meant to represent, if anyone. That one looks a bit like Vincent van Gogh. I'd have to download it and have a closer look. But yeah, they're definitely different faces. They do represent different people. They're not all the same face. And look at these two up here above the window. And that. It's just a weirdo, I think. Just a complete weirdo. So where's this? So is this one of the bathrooms? But see how it's not a homely home, is it? It's not like, you think if you could literally decorate your house any way you wanted to, would you have it like that? Awful. I mean, look at that. Maybe it was the fashion of the day, I don't know. So the Epstein images released earlier are likely to capture the attention of thousands of people who have been captivated by the case, but they offer little in the way of new information and certainly nothing explosive. Nobody new is implicated in Jeffrey's alleged crimes in any way. And at most they offer a glimpse into the opulent lifestyle of the convicted sex offender and financier, and of the island which has become such a key part of the investigation. and the many theories that continue to swirl around the case, which has played such a large part of the US political world in recent months. And the images revealed today are in large part the scene of the crimes in question. They do, however, bring the issue back into the public eye at a time when lawmakers and large portions of the US public continue to wait for the broader release of the files promised by Donald Trump. Right, we're going to have a look now at the actual video, which now it's all creepy, I think. But anyway, let's have a look. Look at that. There's another, that's just so creepy, that statue, I think. Of all the statues you could have around your pool, do you imagine picking that? You know, it's not, I don't know, it's just weird and horrible. And again, it's like a hunter, isn't it? Like a satire type thing, I don't know. Just, it does it, you don't look at it and think, oh, that's beautiful. You look at it and think, God, that's creepy. So yeah, so one of the bedrooms, look, like you say, Angel, very cold and clinical, like weird, generally weird. Now, of course, all the stuff's been taken out of it, so it's not going to look as homely as maybe it did look more homely. Isn't she supposed to have done this? Isn't she? What's her face? Ghislaine. She's supposed to have decorated his house for him. Wasn't she paid to do that? And is this what she came up with? You know, don't give up your day job, Ghislaine. Don't be going on bloody any of these home decorating programs, you know, where they get people in to redo their house, remodel their house. Don't bother.
Warm and care.
So, because it's weird, because you've got like this very clinical sort of thing, and then
Nice and warm and care.
when it goes through to there, you've got this like horrible rug. Like, did Ghislaine choose that rug? You know, so the whole thing looks, you know, they might have that one room with the dentist chair in it, but the whole thing looks like a dentist surgery. And then suddenly you've got this horrible rug in the middle of it. Let's watch that again.
Interesting, nice.
Just very odd. This isn't the whole video, actually. I think I watched one, I think it was on Fox News. I'll try and find that. Yeah, Heather, I agree. Yeah, it is like all these things are like these haunting things. Now, I watched the video on, I think it was CNN. And it was more complete than that. Because, yeah. Oh, there you go. Let's see. There'd probably be more on this one. Yeah. Now, see all this water around it, that gave me the creeps as well, because, you know, this is when you were on that island, like those girls, they would have felt trapped, wouldn't they? Where else are they going to go? They can't get off the island unless they fly off it on the private jet. So once they got there and then maybe realised what was going on and that, where were they supposed to escape to? There's only the sea. And I won't be surprised if some girls ended up in there. Right, so we've only seen, this is Little St. James. We haven't seen anything from Great St. James yet. And why would he need 2 islands? You know, why would you need 2? You know, it's so greedy, these rich people. Do you know what I mean? What do they even do to make other people's life better? Imagine having all that money and just not even, you know, just buy another island. Because one's not enough. Greedy people. Oh, there you go. He's got his scales there. They can keep an eye on his weight. Got his scales. Oh, look, by the bed. His tissues by the bed don't seem to be the monogrammed ones. They were on the plane. Looks like just a normal box of tissues, or is it? I don't know. This is the creepiest room, isn't it? This dentist room. Well, are these? Well, that looks like Vincent van Gogh there to me, that one. Maybe they represent famous people. So another features a chalkboard with the words power, deception, political, and other indecipherable terms written on it. Yeah. Didn't Stephen Hawkins go there? Do you remember we were talking about him going there? Oh, look, he likes his faces. There's more. Look at that there. There's another one of those centaur things. Yeah, there are all these hunting things, and faces. Who is that? Is that a famous? There's another bust of a. That looks, you know, who are these people? What? Well, there must mean that, you know, people normally choose things to put in their home because they mean something to them, or they're useful for something to them. Now, these sort of little statues and things, I don't know if Ghislaine put them there, because she was supposed to be responsible, wasn't she, for furnishing and things, or whether these were Jeffrey's choice. But they'll have some meaning to him, even though we can't really easily see what it is. Oh, what was that? That's interesting. So another photo shows a telephone with multiple names redacted next to the speed dial buttons. So yeah, who are these people that have been blocked out? Probably Andrew and Clinton and Trumpy. God, that's just awful. That's sweet, isn't it? But again, it could have been the fashion at the time, I suppose. So I suppose that's the master. I mean, it's sort of, you you know, but nothing matches, does it? Even the furniture doesn't match. The bedding is white, which is like, doesn't go, the rest of it's sort of more of a creamier type thing. Nothing matches in this house. Very weird. There's another bathroom. Yeah. And this awful rug. I mean, really, really awful. And so different from the rest. You know, you've got the, I suppose it's to try and, I don't know, brighten up all the white and the blandness, but it's just horrible, isn't it? Just, don't you find it chilling? I find it quite chilling, because when you just think about what happened there over all those years, how those girls would have felt, you know, once they got there, especially, and they probably thought, oh, it's great going off on a private plane to a private island, but they probably didn't realise what was going to be expected of him. We're coming back round now to that horrible statue. So, Democratic Republican Representative Robert Garcia said in a statement, they're releasing these photos and videos to ensure public transparency in the investigation. And to help piece together the full picture of Epstein's horrific crimes. So this was that is that, where would the plane land? Is that where the plane would land? Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, this sea here just gave me the creeps. You just wonder, don't you? Did anybody end up being put in there? You'd never be seen again, would they? I mean, you'd be totally isolated there. Totally. You wouldn't be able to escape, those poor girls. So, there you go. That's what's been released. So, I think he was Creepy Angel as well. There's talk about the... I did do a video on it a while ago. I don't really want to talk about it now because it's horrible. Yeah, I think he was pretty creepy. Yeah, he had a few strange kinks, let's say, according to what people are saying. But you know, so yeah, he was strange. Okay. That's it for now. There'll be more to come, of course. More more documents, and there will be videos, but whether that will ever come out, I don't know. But I'd just like to see somebody actually being arrested, some names coming out, and people actually, you know, the people that actually did it. You know, like the Prime Minister that's talked about, or whoever, you know, it's all talk, isn't it, about Epstein and this, that, and the other, and all these people that went there, and this happened and that happened, but nobody's been arrested except for Ghislaine. Andrew's just been sent off to a different mansion than the one that he was in the first place, and he's lost this title. But he hasn't been held to account. You know, he hasn't been prosecuted or even questioned. You know, this is, so it's just ridiculous. They keep talking about it, but they don't actually do anything. I'd like to see them doing something, you know, not just talking about it. Actually arresting somebody. It's probably never happened because, as Julie was saying earlier, you know, these are very powerful people. Powerful, you know, rich and powerful people, they never really get properly charged. I'm surprised Epstein even got finally caught. Maybe he was like the fall guy in the end. Now it's Andrew, he's the scapegoat. See what happens to Andrew. I mean, I always think about him. I won't be surprised if, you know, one day the news came out that he deleted himself, because I think the royal family are trying to throw him under the bus, that's for sure. They'd do anything to save their position. You know, he's the baddie, but they're all baddies. They're all baddies. If they're not baddies because they actually did something, they're baddies because they covered it up. Covered Andrew up for years. You know, he's been part of the family. He's been part of all the, you know, he's only just, well, say he's only just been, you know, exiled, if you like, but he hasn't even been exiled. He's going to live at Sandringham. That's where they all spend Christmas. He still have servants. He'll still, you know, have his privileged life. That is not a punishment. Just because he can't call himself Prince. You know, ooh, like, are we supposed to really feel sorry for that, you know? He's just a normal person like everybody else. All the royal family, it's just ridiculous to think about it, really, isn't it? When they dress up all pomp and ceremony like it's weird in this day and age, personally, I think, just plain weird, because they're just normal people like everybody else. Why should they have a golden scepter? What's the point of it? You know, what's the point of it all? What's the point of having a golden carriage? You've got Shamilla and Charlie Boy going off to meet the Pope. You know, both adulterers. You know, not that I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that, but I don't go off to meet the Pope and try and pretend I'm some sort of perfect person, telling people to live a simple life while he had a golden carriage made for the coronation. It's got houses all over the world. Dear me. I don't know. I don't think people are falling for it as much now. I think people have woken up finally to the fact that the royal family just a waste of time. And, you know, not my king, not my queen. She'll never be the queen for me. Oh, no, that's it as far as I'm concerned. I never liked the royal family that much anyway, but at least I had a bit of respect for the real queen. But now it's all, if you noticed how everything's gone, Britain's gone to the dogs since the Queen died. It's all her fault for dying. But it's true, isn't it? And Brexit and everything. It's all just gone downhill. But anyway. Yeah. Yeah, we were just saying about that, Heather, Stephen Hawking visiting. Apparently he's got a penchant for little people. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that because it would just make me, I'd say it put me off my breakfast, but I have already had my breakfast, luckily. Yeah, is Sandringham near you? Oh, Heather, you might bump into him at the shop. You know how you're always bumping into people like John Major. You might bump into it too. Imagine bumping into Andy at the shop. He'll probably be... you said that John Major was a bit flirty, didn't you? Wait till you meet Andy. Don't go with him to a private island anywhere. If he invites you to a private island, just don't go. Because, of course, she's got to move out, hasn't she, Sarah? So he'll be on his own. Yeah, you might meet him at Pizza Express. Yeah. Oh, you saw Stephen Hawkins in Cambridge. Everyone seems to be in Cambridge. Heather's always bumping into famous people in a woman's clothing shop. Oh, was he buying a little outfit for one of his little people that he liked? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, he was there. Apparently, he's got a few kinks. Just crazy, isn't it? Just crazy. But I think what looking at those pictures shows me and videos is, don't matter how much money you've got, doesn't mean to say you've got any taste whatsoever. Doesn't mean to say you've got any taste whatsoever, does it? So he could have, you know, she's just as bad. If she's supposed to have, Ghislaine is supposed to have decorated those places for him. Yeah, I wouldn't have her in as an interior designer, would you? So, okay, I've got to go. Got some classes. It's members live tonight. If you want to join in the members live, thank you, Julie, for gifting Vicky Marie Chats membership, which went to Geordie Lass. Tonight is members live. If you remember and there's anything in particular you want to talk about, just maybe leave a comment under here or send me a message or an email. And yeah, I will see the members later, and the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And please remember to like, subscribe, press notifications. But most important, oh, here's the dog. Hello. She knows. She knows when I start saying the goodbyes. You're a clever girl, aren't you? She comes running up for a cuddle. Oh, you're coming to give me some attention now. You're going to give me some attention. Yes, yes, I'm coming now. Until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye. We have the Christmas ending thing. Don't forget to dance.
Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the play with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Join Vicky Marie's Ride Worldwide. Tap that bell so you never miss a dose of love and endless bliss. YouTube others, search my name, Vicky Marie. Let's grow this flame. Thanks for the support. You're the best crew. Now go tell the world you know what to do. Vicky Marie. Ha ha ha. You Marie.
Ha ha ha.
Let's drive now. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Let's grow this flame. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care.